Seriously? Seriously?
What?
Is that what he thinks? He thinks
No,
it.
Kuya Chris told him that.
Oh, okay.
So we will see that
Okay.
attitude.
Okay. Chris said the boss. My name gets used in vain. One of the workers is sweeping up and Richie says, "Why are you sweeping up down here?" Because the boss asked. No, it wasn't me, it was Chris. He said, "You better clean this up because the boss wants it cleaned up." Right.
Dito daw kamo sa terrace na lang para daw kamo, sabi ni Tito Simon, ipagtitigla tayo ng merienda. Harap sa araw ah. Kailangan ko kasi natin kita ng araw. Hindi ko na tao sabi mo. She said, Epo! You bloody sods.
Yeah, that's my wife and auntie and her sister all playing their card game in the terrace, on the terrace in the front, just over here. They like playing there because then I bring them coffee and snacks, and they go on and on and on all night. And Ian's busy cooking pizza and potato wedges we're having for supper tonight. So we eat well, we live well here, you know. Mikey likes potato wedges and pizza, so we're having what he likes tonight. And I've just been serving buns and things like buns and coffee for everybody out there. Different lifestyle. I mean, if I talk about lifestyle in the UK, and I want people to understand this because it's you know, it's with retirement for me and this whole what I'm doing here compared with what I would have been doing, say, in the UK. It's a different environment, and I pay for the environment, even if I don't pay as much as I would be paying in the UK. Let's talk about it. And when I say pay, I mean pay with sanity as much as anything. Pay, and not just money, pay with money, pay with my own state of mind, pay with everything else. Here, you know, I talk to people all around me, you know, in the next door's house, and the house beyond that, and the neighbour across the road, and have a conversation with them, you know, do talk. Make some coffee, give something to drink, or I don't do that in the UK. I was never doing that in the UK with neighbours. Neighbours will be hello and goodbye and have a good day and good morning and ooh, you know, weather looks a bit rough. It would be that sort of conversation, but it wouldn't go on for very long. And you go for weeks in the winter, especially. You could go for weeks without talking to your neighbours at all. So a different situation here. You know, your neighbours are in and out, a bit like EastEnders or Coronation Street in the UK. You know, we're there in those sort of, I call them artificial series these days. You know, everybody knows everybody else's business, and there's usually big arguments going on somewhere. That's what makes Coronation Street such a great TV series, I suppose, and why it's still going strong even after all these years. I mean, that was Coronation Street. That started up in the 50s. Probably one of the oldest soaps in the world, I would think. yeah, so here life is real. Life is a real situation with dynamics of people around us talking, eating, drinking all the time. Doesn't mean you can't get your own space, because you can. There's plenty of space to get your own space when you need it at the same time. But it's it's a social society, and that's the thing I would say is a big plus, a big plus. Also, when it comes to family, we you've heard me say often, I have their back, they have my back, and I truly value that. I think that is real. People. It's not a question of people are out to get you. No, they're not. We mustn't get this into our heads that, yeah, we are different. Yeah, we're wired up differently, being foreigners, being Western. Don't dispute that at all. So there are understandings and misunderstandings in things, always. I could be looking at something online, and I'll be scrolling through one of the online shopping sites, which Richie has opened up on the iPad, and I'll flick through things. Oh, I say, that's nice. And because I say, oh, that's nice, Richie automatically assumes I want that. So she's making sort of arrangements or plans to get me it. And I'm saying, oh, hang on, no, you don't have to do that. When I find out then later she's trying to get the best value, the best price, and ask me. I'm saying, no. I say, oh, it's nice, doesn't mean I want it. So understanding those differences, when you react to something, always remember with your Filipino partner, wife, that how you say things, it's very key to how they behave as well. Because you say something looks nice, they automatically think you like it, you want it. And so you've got to be careful how you sometimes behave when you say things, that you're sending the right signal, the right message. Sometimes it can end up in a positive way, sometimes it can be a negative. And then you have to re-emphasize and explain. So these things are normal. These things are what happen. And that's important. The sensitive elements come out again, oversensitive on something you've said. Because you've said someone else's, Richie's sister makes fried rice. And I'll say, well, that's nice, from Vanjie, I'm tucking away. And then Richie will think, because I like Vanjie's fried rice, I don't like her fried rice. And that's not what no, I'm not even going there. But, someone can be very sensitive about that. And you've got to sometimes, depending on how they're feeling, and you say you put your foot in it very easily. I think being in the Philippines is freedom compared with the UK, though. I think the UK, it's, let's call it a more established environment. The UK, despite all its problems, is one of the wealthy countries in the world. It would be regarded as probably slipping down the ranks fast at the moment, but yes, it's a country with strong institutions. We'd like to think strong values, good educational system, good medical system. You feel comfortable or feel safe because you know it, you live there. Now, I don't think that at all, actually. I think all those things have got to be questioned these days, but that's what we tend to believe. We will, in the UK, will build, will take years to build something, years. If we ever get there, sometimes we don't even get past the planning stage. In a lot of things, I'm talking about government projects in particular and things like that. Okay, but we get conditioned to it. We over years and years and years are made to believe this is the right approach, this is the right way to do things, this is how we should do things. So you come to countries like this where freedom is part of life. here. Raw freedom I'm talking about now. So yes, laws are different, systems are different. Some things just don't exist, never mind about don't happen, they just don't exist, you could say. And you have one of the things I find funny and struggle to I'm getting rid of rubbish. People burn rubbish here in the province, as some of you probably know. They dig a hole, they put a lot of rubbish in a hole, including plastics, and they burn it. I've kind of stopped that here. We're not doing that. We burn stuff we can burn, obviously, but garden refuse and stuff like that. But we bag everything up, plastics here, tins here, glass here, and so on. Now, here, there are people, independent people, they come along and they take it away. And, I don't know if this applies all over them, but they even pay you. You don't pay them to do it. They pay you for coming in and doing it. I mean, now I can't understand if that's the case. And obviously they have this is going somewhere else in there. It's their little business, basically. Their little recycling business that they've found a niche. Their little entrepreneurs are doing it. On their motorbike, they're coming with their motorbike, or their tricycle, little side unit on the side, and it all gets piled in there and off they go. The only thing is you never know when they're coming. So, they come at any time. So you can't always guarantee you're going to have everything ready for them to take away. Sometimes you can just, you can say, well, all that rubbish there, if you want to sort it out, you can have it for nothing. And they say, really? And then they'll come and they'll do it for nothing. But the point I'm making is, it's with the right frame of mind, you can actually get the place tidied up quite nicely here. And there are people that will pay you to take your rubbish away. That's as interesting as it may be. No, I wouldn't do that. And that's why people also hang around these old washing machines we have hanging out. We had a couple of old TVs outside Tatai's window on the outside, and we had things lying around forever. I thought, why don't we just get rid of these? No, we're waiting for the right price, Richie said. Right price? Yeah, because someone's offered them this price, and we're waiting to see if someone comes along. So while they're waiting, all this stuff is piling up, And I think, well, no, let's get, I'm not worried about who gets rid of, I'll pay someone to give, no, you don't have to pay, they pay you. Fine, okay, well, let's do it. You see, so the UK, totally different. Imagine someone coming up and, imagine the municipality coming up, the council, and with the garbage truck, the way, whichever blue bin day or green bin day, and then they pay you to take away your green bin. Here, in the UK, you get fined if you mix up your bin now. God, it's like major issue. It will be in the headlines of the local press the next day because Simon at number 10 has mixed his bin, and they fine you. They fine you for doing things. So a different world altogether. Totally different. It couldn't be further apart. So of course people think differently here to what we do in the UK. Here there's freedom. In the UK we're more and more restricted into those things we can do and those things we can't do. We can't even say things now we can't even give our true sense of feeling about things without fear of the police knocking on our door, it seems, in certain things. But that's where things are in we've been conditioned to do these things. We pay high for our we work hard and play hard in the UK. There's no doubt. We have our releases, our football, our pubs, our what else? Sport generally. We have all the same things. Those releases are here, not football, but basketball, team games, and so on, and not pubs here, but they have bars here and local restaurants here, and you can even have a beer stand outside a Surrey store with a few people and have have a drink. It's nothing's licensed. You don't have to have a license. Here, well, you have a trading license as such, but it's very easy to get. You just go to the local barangay and get that stamped, and that's it. There's nothing. As a local, I'm not talking about as a foreigner. No, as a foreigner, I can't have a business here. But quite honestly, I wouldn't want a business here. You know why? I mean, I'm quite happy to, if Richie and her sisters get together and want to have a business, I'm happy with it. No problem. Keeps them busy. You know, I don't have a problem with it. You know, I will even help them with the books when it comes to the business. And they always say, well, yeah, will you put money in? Well, yes, I'll put some money in, but I'll also want to get my money out. Even I'll put it in. Otherwise, I'll stop putting it in. I won't just keep putting it in and not getting anything back. And yeah, so you're not going to invest in it. Well, so that's not an investment. If I just put money in, I don't get money out. It's not an investment. It's me giving money as a charity. That's where Tatai and Nanai, because Nagi, that's Rich's youngest sister. She's very shy, so she doesn't come on the camera at all. So I haven't really filmed her very much. She's got a little sorry store here in the front. You've probably seen it in some of the clips. I'll show it to you. It's and Tatai would always be putting, you know, spending what money he had on putting stock into the, you know, buying stock for the sorry. In fact, Banji does it now as well sometimes. But it, you know, unless you control that virtually every day, you're not going to get your money back. Tatai never got his money back. He always bought bit, and then he stopped. Oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, he said, and he stopped. And I mean, they're even selling beer at one stage, and it was booming. You know, beer was being sold, you know, Red Horse, and then he stopped it because, of course, everyone was buying beer, but the money wasn't going back to Tatai at all. So it was not a good investment. Yeah. So there's in between the money going in and the money going out. There's a lot of things that get lost in that process, and you know, it's, of course, I can help draft a book that can help them in their bookkeeping, if you like, basic bookkeeping, to ensure they can show a profit. The one across the road is very well run. It's tightly run. They know exactly how much stock they need each week to turn, and they do it. I can see they're working here with it as well. Over here, yeah, it's hit or miss. You know, we have, and you see stores that are virtually empty, selling nothing. And then you see others that are very well run, very tightly run. I think there's a, you know, for me, if I look at the opportunities here, I would say you could do a lot of bulk sale, bulk delivery. I said to Richie, we should have bulk. We should sell bulk oil. I can hear Richie coming. I'm good. Bulk oil, bulk rice, bulk flour. Hello, come and sit in, say hello to the viewers for me. This is the little card lady who's been out here.
And this is my daughter, Roxy.
Hello, Roxy.
Hello.
You're on this. This is the second day you're on YouTube, by the way. You're on YouTube yesterday when we were driving around as well. Yes, and you're on Facebook now as well, I see.
Yeah, I kept meaning to add you, but I kept forgetting.
Okay. You must read some of my articles sometime. I'm not.
Reading some
It's not just about retirement these days. It's about even things going on where you are in your country.
I know, I was reading some.
Yes.
I
So I'm just. Oh, what's happening, my sweetheart?
What? Ian is cooking dinner.
Okay. Hello. Oh, you're at work. Oh, you're at work. I didn't realise you were at work. Are you allowed to do this? Are you allowed to work and talk online at the same time?
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. See you in a bit.
See ya.
See you in a bit. Okay, that's my darling daughter again, who's at work now in Sheffield. Right, what was I saying? Oh yes, I was talking about. But I said to Richie, a little business that you could do here. I have, buying oil, cooking oil in bulk. Big barrels, the big metal barrels. Buying bulk sugar, bulk rice, bulk beer, and we just having a storeroom built, and then with a counter, and you sell it all loose. So people around here that need, a kilo of rice or half a kilo of sugar, litre of cooking oil, couple of Red Horse, whatever the case is, selling it that way. It will go well. And keep it to a limited range of products. Don't get into complexities with too many things. Keep it simple. Keep it tight, and it'll do. It'll go well. It'll work. It will definitely work. Having observed and seen, looking at things around, you can do it. And if someone hasn't got they haven't brought their own bag. Okay, you supply them with a bag as well, but then you obviously, or a bottle, you charge more, of course. That's what you do. Simple. But I think the linking of cultural. I mean, Roxy, for example, who I've just been talking to, my daughter, she left the Philippines. How old was she when she was 5 years old. We spent some time in Dubai, and then the UK. And she's now 23. Yeah, 23. She's 23. Time goes so quick. Keep on forgetting I've been here 2 years as well now. Back in 23, and she speaks. She can speak some Tagalog, but she struggles with it. Not honestly, she struggles. When she comes here, she still speaks in English. So she's changed culturally. So, her auntie's here, and I think, why is she like that? Why is she being rude? Because she is. She's been obviously, primary school. She did in the UK, middle school UK, high school UK, university UK. Now working. UK. So she's not a Yorkshire lass, although she's working in Sheffield, because that's where we were living in. Well, we were living close to Sheffield. We were living in Chesterfield, but she went to university in Sheffield, and that's why she's living there now with her mates, and yeah, she but as a person who's still in those early stages of life and living, life is still exciting. I think when I was in my very early 20s, life was exciting. I was lucky because in my 20s, early 20s, when I finished education, I jumped on I did a couple of years, I did a year working with my dad, who had his own wholesale meat market and abattoir as well. So I worked in that environment for a year, and then I joined a retail chain, Tesco, a well-known retail chain, and did a management course as well in that. And then I left and went to South Africa, emigrated to South Africa in my early 20s, and went to Africa because I love wildlife more than anything else. Had a young family at that stage, but have been traveling and moving very much ever since. As everywhere has its ups and downs. South Africa, UK, I've been back to the UK, I've lived in Eastern Europe, in Poland. I've lived in the Middle East. All these countries I've lived in for many years, not just a few months. And while living in a lot of these places, in the latter part of my life, when I was still working, I was seeing a lot more of the world as well. So I've been to the USA many times. I've been all over Europe. I've been through Africa, India, the Far East. So it was, I saw the various cultures of the world and lived among them as well. So it was easy to come here and retire and not really want to do anything. In the time frame I've been here in the Philippines, and we've been to the Philippines on holidays before, but I have not gone further. I'm in a little town, I'm in the country, I'm outside a little town called Haiyan. I'm close to the nearest city to me is Gapan, that's called a city, and then Cabanatuan is the other city that's closer to me. That's a little bit further than Gapan. So I'm sort of in between those cities. But in the 2 years I've been here, I haven't gone any further outside that circle between Gapan and Cabanatuan. That's where I've been. And people think, why? Why? You should go down here, and you should go over here, and you should go up there, and you should go. The reason I've done that, I've deliberately not gone very far. I've deliberately remained local, so people can see I'm local. Because after 4 months, 5 months, we had a visitor come over from Canada, one of our neighbours, and she's 73, and she lives in Canada. And she's lived in Canada a long time now, and she says, "Yeah, great, Simon, good to meet you, blah blah," and all the rest of it. "And when are you going back? When are you going to say?" "Oh, so I'm not going back. This is home." And she said, "Really? Home? You're going to stay here?" I said, "Yes. What's wrong?" "Really? Here? Here? Here?" I said, "Yes, I think it's fantastic." "Really?" And that's the reaction to people around me. "Really? You want to stay here?" They get a shock. They get a shock when they hear this. And I say, this is my choice. I love it here. I mean, I'll put a shirt on clean every morning. I'll probably change my shirt 2 or 3 times a day, actually. Not just because of it gets hot and so it feels good to change anyway. But I get covered in puppy paws and dog paws all the time when I'm, plus feeding chickens and ducking around in chicken sheds, and so I'm always looking like I've been rolling in the mud for quite a while. So not the usual type of foreigner. I'm not really. I wear a pair of only reason you see me quite often wearing welly boots because when I'm walking around, because it's with the rains we've been having, it's muddy and it's just practical. But yeah, so I don't look like a tourist at all. Anything but. Yeah, they're getting used to it now. They realise, Simon is here for staying. He's not just saying. Now, when I come here for a holiday, it'll be 100 miles an hour. Right? We're going to hire a car. We're going here, this resort, that resort. We're going to visit people over here. We're going to visit people. Yes, I was doing that. No, I don't. And I don't do it because I am here. I like to be here. We're building a house here, obviously. We've got to get on with things here. I want to travel, yes, I will do a little bit, but I travelled a lot in my career, in my life. So my desire to go and look at something else at the moment, is not there. What I want to see is the house finishing and the garden maturing. I've got some more cleaning up to do in the compound area with finishing off things as well. And then I really want to get Richie and her sisters into a sustainable little business venture here. I mean, that's what I would like to see happen. Something that they can run with ease and do with ease. So I put my energy and mind into this type of approach for the family as well. You know, we've got nephews, nieces, at various age groups around here. Some are working, doing jobs, and some aren't. And I want to give opportunity where I can for everyone. Not give them. Giving money is not helping really. It may help them out of a problem short term, but I want to give them some enterprising ideas. I want to give them let them gain knowledge, let them gain understanding, let them see, experience things. To me, there's no difference here to the UK. Youngsters in the UK these days, in my view, have got to work hard no matter what. If they're gonna survive in the UK these days, you've got to work hard. Yeah, there is something in the UK which isn't here, which is the social benefit, you know, job seekers allowance or something to help you with, so you're not going to start. I mean, food banks. Or yes, there are all kinds of support structures in the UK which aren't here. Here, you have to rely on family. You can't, or friends. You can't. There's no government to give you a lot of financial support. Absolutely no. But I think the UK suffers as a result of that problem over many generations. I think it's got too easy now. So even foreigners who come in, immigrants who come in, benefit from just arriving, getting they'll get a free bed and a free food and free. So here they get. I find that absolutely absurd. They get phones as well. I mean, now this is hearsay. I mean, this is what I've heard from reports from the BBC and others. But whether I can believe those or not these days, I'm not sure. But yes, I think the UK, gives money away. They can't control money very easily. If it was less attractive, I think you have fewer people coming into the country. I mean, of course, everybody wants to go to the UK or France because the social structures support people in a much better way than they do in Syria or in Afghanistan or Iran or wherever people, or North Africa, Somalia and places like that. So you have to take into account those things, why the UK has become attractive. It used to be attractive from its sense of education only, particularly its university education. I think that's even changing today. Now, I know I've been rabbiting on quite a lot in this video, but this video is really, it's a sense of feeling to my followers, my people who are future retirees from Europe or America, coming to the Philippines to retire, getting something in their head about coming to the Philippines and about how they should, what they've got to do. Everyone is different, and I keep on saying, you've got to come and feel it out for yourself and understand the cultural differences of probably it's not the finance. Take it from anybody. Your budget depends on what you spend, obviously. That's a stupid answer, I know, but your budget is what you decide to spend. But it is much cheaper than where you're from in the UK. It is much cheaper, providing you control it very well. If you come here and try and live like you do in the UK, then you will have a problem, because paying for those Western luxuries, you may overpay for if you can get them. But for Filipino luxuries, there's plenty here, and you live extremely well. I eat better here. I live better here. I am more relaxed here. I've always been relaxed anyway, generally. as you see from some of my videos on Facebook of my UK pastimes. But yes, look, people who are coming here to retire, there's lots of vloggers out there that the do's and don'ts and the shoulds and shouldn'ts and scare people half to death about, you know, getting fleeced of all their cash before they've been here 6 months, or don't have any, or end up getting locked up for doing something wrong, or no, look, don't put all your cash into something here, all your savings, you know, into something here. Don't do that until you really, really feel comfortable. Until you feel like me, and you're not going to come here and feel like me next week. You may get close to it, but you are riding your luck a little bit if you think, okay, now I'll do this. I'll buy this bit of land, I'll build this house, I'll marry this person, I'll do this, no. Come here and check the place out first. You can get a little property here for 10,000 pesos. Come and live in the community, and you will find it. You know, in another few months, 6 months, come and stay with us. We're also got a idea with a little Airbnb we're going to have here as well, and appreciate our type of lifestyle. Then you know, in our type of community, what it's like, and then you can tell, is this for you? Would this work for me? Is this what I'm looking for? Yes, I mean, that's the kind of thinking, but I would say don't overthink coming to live in the Philippines or anywhere else. You've just got to make that dive into it, a little bit of courage and a little bit of understanding that it's going to be very different to what you're used to. Accept that. You know, if you've done lots of living and traveling in different countries, you'll find it much easier, of course, than if you've never done that. If you've only done holidays when you've been away for a couple of weeks from the UK. So if you're coming here for the first time, as a world traveller, as it were, you're going to need 6 months at least to settle into the environment, to get used to the heat, the food, the culture, all those things. But there's no reason why you won't enjoy it. You'll find it very different, but there's no reason why you won't enjoy it. Talk again.